Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admission counselors, independent education consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, pacac.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenter.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jen. I appreciate the introduction. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, get the slideshow pulled up for you guys. Excellent. So should be all set and good to go. Let me just double check here real quick. Okay, great. So yeah, thank you, Jen, again for the introduction. My name is Ryan Hanahan. I'm an admissions counselor at Cleveland State University. I appreciate you all joining tonight to learn a little bit more about CSU. Like Jen had said, if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A section. It is only me from CSU tonight presenting, so I will spend some time at the end answering any questions. So feel free, like I said, if you have a question during the presentation, type in the Q&A and at the end I'll answer them. If I don't get your questions, I'll get a report afterwards with all of them, so make sure to follow up with you directly. But would love to try to answer as many questions as possible about CSU, and that way we provide you with as much information as you go on throughout your college decision process. So like I said before, my name is Ryan Hanahan. I'm an admissions counselor at Cleveland State University. The best part about it is I work with all students from PA, so I am your specific admissions counselor. So my information is on the screen there for you. Feel free to take down my email address or my phone number. Right now, the best way to really get a hold of me is through email. So with us, working remotely and whatnot, I always get my email sent to my phone no matter where I am. So feel free to reach out through email, but if you want to get on the phone and set up a phone call, I'd be happy to talk with you there. So feel free to write that down, and I'll make sure to present that at the end of the presentation as well, just so you guys can get it before the presentation ends. But yeah, with that being said, we'll go ahead, we'll learn a little bit more about CSU. And like I said, if you have questions, feel free to submit them and we'll make sure to get as many answers at the end of this as possible. So a little bit of background information about CSU. At CSU, we have just north of 16,000 students. So it makes us a mid-sized university. In my opinion, I think it's like the perfect size university because 16,000 people, we're located right in downtown Cleveland. So you're not going to know everyone on campus, and really there's no need to know every single person. But what's great about that is you're going to have a small classroom, and we're able to focus on having small classes. So you're going to have an average class of about 23 students. That way you're able to make a connection with your professor. They can make a connection with you, and that's really going to benefit you as you go through your time at CSU when you're looking to make, networking and job interviews and connections and stuff like that. Being able to have a connection with your professor is a really great benefit, especially with a lot of them being professionals in the field who've now come back to teach our students. Even though we focus on having a small classroom, it's not like you're going to have students from your local area or high school or even rival high school sitting in the same room with you. We actually have students joining us from 38 states as well as 79 countries. So again, you're going to learn a lot about your program and major, but you're also going to learn a lot, from other people from different backgrounds, countries, states, all kinds of stuff too. So again, really great dynamic opportunity for our students in the classroom. We offer over 175 different academic programs as well as 18 Division I sports. So a lot of things for students to get involved in within the classroom, but also outside the classroom. A big thing we push at CSU is we think your time outside the classroom is just as vital as the time you spend within it. So whether that's an 18 Division I sports, clubs, organizations, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, we want to make sure there's plenty of things happening for you on campus in the classroom, but also outside the classroom so you can really enjoy your time at CSU. We are a young university, as you can see on the screen there. We only established in 1964, but since that time we've had over 140,000 graduates come through, do a lot of great things. So we have a very strong alumni network. A lot of them are still very local to the area, and they're always looking to come back to CSU and work with students for internships and co-ops and things like that. So again, very strong alumni network, which is a great opportunity for our students. We know the college decision process and the steps you guys are going through right now can be very overwhelming, and there's a lot of different colleges and people talking to you about their institutions and everything like that. So whenever we talk about CSU, whenever we speak with prospective students, we always want to make sure they remember these 4 things every time they think about CSU. And we're going to talk about a little bit, talk about all of them here in a little bit as well. But the 4 things are our engaged learning model, our academic reputation, our dynamic campus experience in downtown Cleveland, and obviously that value and affordability of the CSU education and how much that means to our students and their families. So what is engaged learning? What does that mean for our students? So for one thing, engaged learning are the 2 most used words you'll ever see at CSU. We really push it, and it's not so much just a motto, but it's really at the heart of everything we do for our students. It's our way of providing hands-on real world experience. The one thing I always say to students when I talk to them is, we don't want you to attend CSU, sit in a classroom for 4 years, graduate, get a job, and then realize you don't like anything about your first job or your career or anything like that, and you just feel like you wasted 4 years of your time in a classroom learning about something that you really don't like. So with that engagement model, we're gonna get you outside the classroom as much as possible, applying things hands-on, so you really understand the career you're going into and really can fall in love with it, but also when you're in the classroom, you're really understanding your program and your major and everything behind that. Being in downtown Cleveland has a lot of opportunities for our students in order to really live up to this engaged learning model. So as far as in the classroom, like I mentioned before, we have approachable professors who are experts in their field, not coming back to teach our students, but they're also very small classes. So you can make that connection with them. They can really help you with that networking and that internship and co-op opportunities outside the classroom. But outside the classroom with engaged learning, like I said, being in downtown Cleveland offers a lot of opportunities for our students. Each year we're able to offer our students over 3,000 internships, and a lot of those are going to be at Fortune 500 or Fortune 250 companies located right down the street. So, it makes a great balance from going classroom into the real world experience, having these Fortune 500 and Fortune 250 companies right on pretty much our campus. So essentially you can walk out of class, walk across the street, jump on the RTA, or even, hop in an Uber real quick and go right into your internship and apply things from the classroom in the real world right away. Some of the different partnerships we have in the city of Cleveland for our students, where we're able to offer these internship opportunities include Cleveland Clinic, the Cleveland Orchestra, the Metro Parks, Cleveland Museum of Art, and NASA. And then we're very lucky to have 3 major sports teams all in our backyard, right by our campus, which includes the Cavs, Indians, and Browns. And for them, they don't, you don't have to be a sports major in order to find an internship with them. They're looking for any students, from video production to ticket sales, anything like that. So again, having these 3 major sports teams right in our backyard is a great opportunity for students to really live up to that engaged learning model. As far as our academic reputation goes, like I mentioned before, we have over 175 different academic programs within 10 colleges in downtown Cleveland. We're consistently listed as a top university by US News and World Report, which is a distinction given about 280 different schools in the country. Military Times has named us the best school for vets, and we've also been named to the Phi Theta Kappa honor roll for our transfer distinction. So essentially trying to make the process as seamless and easy as possible for students looking to transfer into CSU. And really, whether you're a first-time freshman or a transfer student, we want to be upfront with you as much as possible. We know it's a very stressful time trying to decide where you want to go to school. So we try to provide you with as much information upfront just to cut down on that stress. And like I said, if you want to attend CSU, we want to make sure you have all the right resources in order to make that happen. So it's a really great honor to be on that honor roll for our transfer students, but as well as, for our first-time freshmen. A few different other partnerships we always like to mention is obviously our Neomed partnership. Playhouse Square is the 2nd largest theater district in the country, actually located right down the street from our campus, and actually houses our entire arts campus. So any show, gallery, exhibit, whatever's happening at Playhouse Square, which are usually some really big time shows, all those art students have opportunities to work backstage or alongside those professionals, which again, great hands-on learning experience. And really, if that's the field you're looking to go into, that's a great way to get started from day one at CSU. Going on with our academic reputation, so some things we offer on campus for our students to go on that. We have multi-term registration. So typically what happens when you apply or whenever you're at a school, you'll schedule your classes, you only do it by semester. So one day, right before the fall semester, everyone gets online and tries to schedule all of their fall classes, and it can be very stressful. You're trying not to get waitlisted. You want to make sure you take the right classes, and it can just be a very stressful process for students. So in order to cut down on that, at CSU, we offer multi-term registration. So anytime you schedule, you're able to schedule your whole fall and spring schedule all at one time. Another benefit to doing that is if you are working in an internship or a co-op, which we really encourage students to do, you're able to build your class schedule around your work schedule. That way you're able to, if you have to take classes in the morning or the evening or switch it up, something like that, you're able to schedule your whole fall and spring schedule all at one time. That way, as you're working your internship or co-op, everything kind of gel and work really well together. The degree audit is something you actually pull together or put together with your advisor as soon as you declare your major. Essentially what happens is once you declare your major, the degree audit will pull all of your required classes that you need in order to graduate. That way you're able to work with your advisor, see what classes you need to take, stay on track, stay on schedule. That way you can graduate on time, you don't get caught behind. But if you're able to, you can even work a little bit quicker and move through that audit. But again, it's just a way for you to stay on track, know what you need to take in order to graduate in a timely manner from CSU. And the bottom three things on the screen here are all different aid services we have for our students. One thing I always like to say is there should never be a time where you feel like you're all alone at CSU. Like there's no one here to help you out, because there are a lot of people, whether we're working on campus or remotely, whose sole job is just to make sure our students are as successful as possible. So with the academic advising, every first year freshman gets our first year advisor, which is with them their entire first year at CSU. So they're there to help you out with your scheduling, classes, anything you need on campus. They're kind of there for you to help you get acclimated to being at college for your first year. After that, you'll then get a department-based advisor, so someone within your actual program who can help you with that degree audit, making sure you're taking the required classes for your major. We have our tutoring and academic success center, which offers, as you can see, academic support for all undergraduate students. Usually it's going to be by professionals, but there's also sometimes students are recommended by their professors who've done really well in classes to actually help teach other students. So again, another great place. It's free of charge. The hardest thing to do is just really ask for help, and we want to make sure that we're there to help you out throughout the entire time at CSU in order to be as successful as possible. And then, like I said before, we have a very strong alumni network, over 140,000 strong. Still, a lot of them are very local to the area, looking to pull students from CSU as much as possible for those internship and co-op opportunities. So our dynamic campus experience, and what does that really mean for our students? So we don't have a typical college campus, and we really emphasize this as much as possible whenever we talk about CSU. We are located right in the heart of downtown Cleveland. So like I said, you're not your typical college campus. We're not a small college town with a highway in or a highway out. We're right in the middle of the city, and Cleveland's kind of gone through a lot of changes in the last 5 or 6 years, where a lot of more young professionals and students are starting to move back into the city. So the city's really realized that, and added a lot of new apartment complexes and different venues and stuff like that for students and young professionals to really enjoy being in downtown Cleveland. So it's a really, really cool dynamic campus experience for our students. There's a lot of things on campus, but also just off campus that are very easy to get to. And we always encourage students, get off campus, go see what's going on in these cultural districts or at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or stuff like that, which is all, steps off of our campus. So we really encourage students to go out and see that as much as possible. Like I said, we think your time is just as vital outside the classroom as it is inside the classroom. So whether that's going out and just seeing what the city has to offer, we think that's a great opportunity and a great experience. So as you can see on their screen, a few things that are really close to our campus include Playhouse Square, the theater district we spoke about earlier, Cleveland Orchestra, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Museum of Art, like I said, the different cultural districts that kind of surround the city. And then there's a bunch of Cleveland Metro parks that are right there on Lake Erie for you to go down and kind of, step out of the city and relax a little bit right on the water. As you can see on the screen right there at the bottom, it's called the RTA U-Pass. So this is actually a really cool feature we have built into the tuition cost for our students. But essentially what it allows them to do is ride all the RTA buses and trains at no additional cost. So really, you don't need to have a car on campus if you don't want to. You are allowed. We don't have any restrictions with that, but that U-Pass can really kind of take over that and can save you a lot of money in the long run. But essentially, being a student at CSU, the U-Pass is built into your tuition costs. So you're not paying anything extra, but you can hop on the bus, show the driver your ID card. They see the U-Pass and you're free to ride as far as you want. You don't have to worry about paying for a ticket or anything like that. You don't have to worry about where your car is parked, if it's okay, the meter's fed, stuff like that. UPass kind of takes care of all of that and allows students to, like I said, get off campus, check out these different areas, see what's going on, and really enjoy their time in Cleveland as well as at CSU. So we always encourage students to use that UPass as much as possible, being that's already built into your tuition. And it's a great way to see the campus, city, and really take it all in at once. In addition to that, like I said, whether you're going off campus to see different things, we also offer over 200 different clubs and organizations on campus for our students to get involved in. So anything from civic, social, career, professional, even intramural sports, a whole bunch of things for students to get involved. Make sure you're hanging out and having a good time at CSU. There's over 200 different clubs and organizations, so there's probably already something that kind of will spark your interest. If not, it's really easy to start one. All you need is 3 other students and a faculty member sign off on it, and you have your own club or organization. It's that easy. But like I said, with over 200, there's probably something that already sparks your interest. My favorite is the Mac and Cheese Club, and I think they just meet once a week or once a month and eat macaroni and cheese. So again, no academic value to it at all. just people, similar interests, getting together, hanging out. And that's, that's all we can ask for. Like I said, we want to make sure you're hanging out with people, similar interests, and enjoying as much time as possible while on campus at CSU. So the housing options at CSU, it's a little bit different than most college campuses. We don't actually require students to live on campus if they don't want to. We do have 2 residence halls in downtown Cleveland that are for our students that are actually very nice setups, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But like I said, it's not a requirement. So if you want to live on campus, you're more than welcome to. But if you want to get an apartment, or if you have friends from your high school that are also attending CSU, or from a local high school, if you guys want to get an apartment, that's also welcome to. Like I said, not a requirement, but we do have 2 very nice residence halls for our students called Fenn Tower and Euclid Commons. For commuter students, if you live in an apartment complex, surrounding campus, you'd actually be considered a commuter student, even though you're probably closer to some academic buildings than the residence halls. But we accommodate, commuter students as much as possible. So there's actually a lot of amenities for students who are commuting, who live in an apartment, maybe not as close to the city as the residence halls. So for our 2 residence halls, so Fenn Tower is our first year residence hall. So that means all first year students live within here. It's a historic building. It's been renovated in the last few years. It's going to house about 425 of our first year students. Within there, we include honors floors and scholars floors. So any student within the honors college or the scholars program will be on the same floor together. But the fact that it's a first year residence hall, that just means that there's a lot more programming, things to get involved, so you can kind of get used to living on your own and living in the city for the first time. Want to make sure you're comfortable. So that's why we have all of our first year students live within Fenn Tower. Most of the rooms are doubles. There are some quads, but probably one of the best things about the rooms is every one of them has its own private bathroom. So you're not worrying about sharing a bathroom with 30 or 40 other people on your floor, which might not seem like a big deal for right now, but if you ever had to share a bathroom with more than 3 people, you can understand. So it's really nice that every room within Fenn Tower has its own private bathroom. And again, free cable, Wi-Fi. Being that it's an old historic building, it's one of the higher buildings on campus, so you have really great views of the city as well as the lake. So like I said, pretty much like a nice downtown apartment right in the heart of the city for our students. Euclid Commons is our other residence hall. So this is for sophomores through seniors. This is much more an apartment style building. So 4-person suites. It's going to have about 585 of our students. All the bedrooms are private, but they have a common living area and a full-size kitchen. So like I said, a little bit more of an apartment complex, apartment setup with your private bedroom, but again, common living area and kitchen. That's for sophomores through seniors. Again, a very nice setup for students to have living on campus. So we're going to go ahead and get into the value and affordability of the CSU education, how much that means to our students and their families. We're going to talk a little bit about the tuition breakdowns and stuff like that. But before we get into the numbers and pull that up on the screen, there's a few things about the tuition. So for students at CSU, it's already one of the lowest tuition rates within the state of Ohio, but also for out-of-state students, it's also a very low tuition rate, which we'll talk about here in a moment. One of the best things about our tuition, whether you're an in-state student or out-of-state student, obviously we're talking with out-of-state students, but one of the best things we can offer is our CSU guarantee program. So essentially what this means is you're locked in your tuition for the 4 years or 8 semesters it takes you to reach your degree. This is something that went into effect in the fall of 2018 for all of our incoming students. But the goal of this is essentially to allow our students to graduate with less debt. You know exactly what's coming your way each and every semester. You're never going to get a bill in the mail or an email saying, you owe $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 more for tuition. That's never going to happen. You know exactly what your tuition rate is all 4 years for every semester. So one, it allows you to better budget, better plan. But like I said, it allows you to, graduate with less debt and just, exactly what's coming your way each and every semester. No surprises. And we know a lot of time and money goes into going to school. So we want to be upfront with you as much as possible with those costs, so you're able to better budget and better plan while at CSU. Here's a little breakdown of the 2020-2021 tuition and fees for our current first year students. So as you can see on the right here, we have all the obviously out-of-state costs for students. So right now tuition is just under $16,000 for a full year at CSU. So that breaks down to just under $8,000 a semester. So again, a very low tuition rate for out-of-state students. If you do live in one of the residence halls, this is the typical cost for a double in Fenn Tower for 1 full year. Students living on campus also are required to have a meal plan. So this is the typical meal plan students go with. It kind of ranges. I mean, meal plans can be adjusted. We have a few different options. This is just one. It's a round number, so it's easier for us to put the math together for you. But also, most students usually go with this one. It includes a certain amount of meals per week, but also you have Viking Cash, so you can use it in our different shops around campus to get quick bite to eat between classes, a coffee, a water, whatever you need. That also is built into your meal plan as well. Like I said, if you don't want to live on campus, you don't need to. You can get an apartment complex. You can still get a meal plan if you would like. It's not required, being, living in an apartment complex around campus, but you are still able to get a meal plan. So most students will actually do that as well. Like I said, just for the fact that they can pop in and get a quick bite to eat or something like that. So that's why we have the different little brackets for the meal plan. Miscellaneous fees include, books and parking. That your costs for books are always going to change and adjust depending on how many classes you're taking and all that stuff. There's a lot of different options that kind of cut down on textbooks, whether it's renting it, electronic versions, stuff like that. So this is just an estimate of the cost for books and supplies and stuff like that for one full year. And like I said, students are allowed to have a parking pass on campus if they would like. We don't, or have a car. We don't have restrictions. So we do have different parking lots, spaces, and garages for our faculty, students, and staff. But like I mentioned before, we do have a lot of public transportation options. If you don't need to have a car, I honestly wouldn't suggest bringing one. One, it's a great way to save money in the long run, not having to pay for a parking pass, but that U-Pass is already built into your tuition. So like I said, you're not paying anything extra for it. That's a great way to kind of get around the city. Any city you go to, parking is always going to be the same. So like I said, the best option to go with is really that RTA U-Pass, since it's already built into your tuition, but cars are allowed if you'd like to. So this miscellaneous fees kind of has that built into there to show you what it might be if you actually end up paying for a parking pass and having a car on campus in downtown Cleveland. So in addition to our CSU Guarantee Program and already having one of the lowest tuition rates, we offer a number of merit-based scholarships for our incoming students. So these scholarships typically range up to $24,000 or so for incoming students. On the screen there, it says it's award based off of GPA and test scores. It's actually just going to be looking at your GPA for this year. So when we talk about the admissions requirements in the next slide, we'll actually cover that with the test scores. But all we're going to be looking at is your GPA in order to grant these merit-based scholarships. The deadline for these to receive a merit-based scholarship is all you have to do is just make sure your materials, in addition to your application, is submitted to us by March 1st. The reason we push that March 1st deadline is just because our awards are as funds are available. So by March 1st, we can guarantee that scholarship. After that date, if we don't have the money, obviously we can't, be issuing out scholarships to students. So we're going to make sure you receive the highest scholarship possible. That's why we just push that March 1st deadline. One thing I've been telling students right now is, if you're taking your current classes and you do really well this first semester, have your, guidance counselor send us an updated transcript as you start your spring semester. If that, boosts up your cumulative high school GPA, that could bump you up into a higher scholarship bracket. So like I said, we'll keep receiving updated materials up until that March 1st deadline. And if, like I said, if you get a higher GPA and that bumps you up, you automatically will receive that higher scholarship. So keep sending us updated materials as long as possible. We want to make sure you receive highest scholarship that you possibly can. What's also really great about these scholarships is they're automatic and renewable. So when you apply to CSU, as long as we have everything by March 1st, you're automatically eligible to receive a scholarship. We'll then, look at the criteria to see if we can award it. But all you have to do is just apply by March 1st. And they're renewable for all 4 years. So you don't have to reapply. You don't have to do anything special. All you have to do is just keep your GPA at CSU. And that scholarship is going to come off of your tuition each and every semester. So again, up front, hey, here's the tuition rate for my time at CSU for each semester. Here's a scholarship that I just received. That's coming off of this right away. So instead of paying possibly, just under $8,000 a semester, you're going to be paying maybe $6,000 a semester. So again, before you even get started at CSU, what costs are. Again, it allows you to better budget, better plan. We try to be upfront with you as much as possible to kind of cut down on the stress with the college decision process. We do have one exception. We do have an honors college at CSU. So this is a separate application students will need to fill out in order to be eligible. That application is due by January 15th. You can actually find it on our website. If you just go to csuohio.edu and search honors college, it'll pull you right up to the scholarship or right up to the application. Like I said, it's due by January 15th. It is very competitive admission though. So the minimum criteria to apply is at least a 30 on your ACT or to be in the top 10% of your graduating class. So if you have that criteria, it does not hurt to apply, because if you are selected, you receive free tuition and fees at CSU for all 4 years. But like I said, it is very competitive. So they only select about 40 students each year. So like I said, if you have the criteria, it does not hurt to apply, because if you are selected, free tuition and fees. If you're not selected, you're still probably going to get a very nice merit-based scholarship based off of your test scores and your cumulative high school GPA. But like I said, that's a separate application students will need to fill out. That's going to be due by January 15th. And like I said, if you just go to our website, csuohio.edu, and search Honors College, we'll pull you right up to the application you'll need to fill out by the 15th. So we're going to go ahead and discuss the application process in order to become a Viking at CSU. So our application is now open for the 2021 academic year. We have two options for students who are looking to apply. So we are on the Common App, which is a very familiar application for students, but we also have our own internal application called the Viking application. You can visit engagecsu.com and that'll actually pull you right up to our application page. You can select to do the Viking app or the Common App. In my opinion, if you haven't done either and you're still looking to apply to CSU, the Viking app is the best option to go with. For one, it's an internal document. So within 24 hours of you submitting it, you get a confirmation email from us with your next steps. And that way you're able to kind of track the progress of your application all the way up until your decision. Common App takes a little bit longer to fill out, but once you're done, you can send it to like 500 different schools and you're all good to go from there. So either option is fine. Like I said, for ease and, for a timely manner, the Viking application is my personal recommendation, but either one's gonna still result with you getting set up in our college. And then obviously we're gonna go from there about getting you a decision about your admission to CSU. So in addition to either your Viking application or the Common App, there's a few things we're gonna need from you. One of them is your official high school transcript. And we're actually decided to waive this ACT, SAT test requirement for students for this application. So like I said before, all we're going to need is your official high school transcript in addition to your application in order to give you an admissions decision. We know it's been really hard for students, especially with everything going on, to take their ACT or SAT, or with them being postponed or canceled or delayed. So we decided to just go ahead and waive that test requirement for this application. If you do have your test scores, if you were fortunate to be able to take your test and you did receive your scores, you're more than welcome to send them in to us. We actually encourage students to send them in. Because it's a great way to add them to your file. That way they're there for scholarship purposes and stuff like that. But we're not going to be looking at them for an admission requirement. Like I said, all we're going to be looking at is that cumulative high school GPA on your official high school transcript in order to give our admissions decision. For any student who's looking to transfer to CSU, all we're going to need is any college or university transcript from all accredited institutions they did attend. And this last box says a $40 application fee. You can go ahead and just ignore that and disregard that because there is no application fee right now. We're not charging students anything to apply to CSU. So really, if you haven't applied yet, all it's going to cost you if you go ahead and fill out the Viking application is going to cost you like 15 minutes of your time. The Viking app is very quick and easy to fill out. We don't need your additional materials at the time of submission. We'll actually be in contact with you. I would actually be in contact with you as your admissions counselor about what materials we still need. Like I said, you're not going to be charged to fill out an application, and we're not going to be asking you for those ACT or SAT test scores. You can send them in if you'd like, but like I said, all that's going to be required is your application and your official high school transcript. So once you've obviously filled out the application, send in your transcript, and it's all in our system, it's usually going to be about a 1 to 2 week turnaround before you hear a decision from us. At that time, obviously if you've been admitted to CSU, that's our way of letting you know we want you to become a Viking. And so these are the next steps we kind of follow through with students during their senior year, just to stay in contact with them as much as possible. So we can get you back out in the summer for orientation, then get you ready to go for your first semester at CSU. So the first thing is you want to go ahead and file for the FAFSA if you haven't done so already. That free application for financial aid actually opened up on October 1st for all current high school seniors. So like I said, if you haven't gone and done so already, go ahead and fill out that application, have it sent to CSU so it's in our system so we can award you financial aid. Obviously, the earlier you do it, the better opportunity you have for receiving more financial aid. And even if you don't think you're going to actually receive any aid at all, we still encourage students to go ahead and fill out. It's a free application. You actually might be surprised and might actually receive some money anyway. So like I said, October 1st, it's already open for all current high school seniors. Go ahead, fill it out, have all the results sent to CSU. If you are interested in living in one of our residence halls on campus, the housing application will actually open up November 1st of your senior year. It's coming up here in the next few days. We do have 2 residence halls. It's not a requirement, but the fact that we only have 2 residence halls, they do fill up rather quickly. So my opinion is any student who's thinking about living on campus at all, especially being from out of state, it's probably going to be even more of an option for you. I would recommend November 1st, go in, fill out the application, lock yourself into a room, and then you have that option in your back pocket to accept the contract, decline it if you want to get an apartment or something like that. But the best thing to do is obviously to apply as early as possible and just give yourself the option of living on campus at CSU. What's also nice about that is you actually don't have to have your application for admission submitted in order to fill out the application for housing. So even if you haven't applied to CSU yet, I would still go ahead and fill out the housing application on November 1st. And then after that, go ahead and fill out your application for admission. Like I said, you'll need to have the admission application in order to apply for housing. Best practice is just go ahead on November 1st and fill it out as soon as possible. If you're a CCP student or taking AP classes, we're going to do a full credit evaluation for you. So actually, that's why we're going to ask you for your official high school transcripts. We're going to go ahead and pass them along to your advisor so that when you come for orientation, you sit down with your advisor to schedule your classes, they'll let you know what you already have credit for at CSU. You know, if you already took the class in high school and you passed it and have a passing grade, we're not going to make you come to CSU and retake a class. So that's why we do a full credit evaluation for you. Like I said, just so you know exactly what classes you already have credit for. That way, when you build your schedule with your advisor, you guys are able to put you in the correct courses. You're not retaking anything, and you're able to, like I said, move through your program as soon as possible. Around February, March of your senior year, that's when your financial aid award letter will get sent out. So any loans, grants, scholarships, any money coming your way will get sent to you around February, March of your senior year. That way, you're able to see, here's what CSU is offering me, as well as compare it to the other schools you applied to, get an idea of the bigger picture and what money is coming your way and everything like that. After that, if things still look good and you're still considering applying to or attending CSU, you can actually go into your CampusNet account, which is something that's generated for you when you apply, and accept your admission. So we're actually jumping from step 4 to 7 down here, but you actually go ahead and accept your admission. And then the way you let us know that you're actually going to attend in the fall is by paying your $120 enrollment fee. So this enrollment fee covers a cost for you and 2 guests at orientation, as well as your Viking ID card. That enrollment fee is refundable up until May 1st. So say in February, March, you go on, you apply, you get admitted, you receive your financial aid award letter, and you pay your enrollment fee. And then things change, and you're actually not going to be attending CSU. If you just let us know by May 1st, we'll be able to refund that amount to you, get it back on your account. But like I said, that just covers the cost for you and 2 guests at orientation, but also locks yourself into letting us know that you're going to be attending in the fall. So once you have paid that enrollment fee and accept your admission, we're actually going to jump back a step to step 5. We're actually going to be in contact with you to sign up for your orientation. So our orientation program happens all throughout the summer. That way students can kind of accommodate for any travel plans or work schedules or stuff like that. So it happens all throughout the summer leading into the fall semester. Last year, we did them all virtually, but typically they happen in person right on campus in downtown Cleveland. Whether it's a virtual experience or in person, you're still going to meet a lot of brand new incoming students. That way you can start making some friends and meeting some students from your local area or anything like that. We're also going to hear from a lot of different people from around the university, just welcoming you to CSU. It's a great experience. Like I said, whether it's virtual or in person, we'll make sure that, you get the full orientation experience. The best thing about that day, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but the best thing about that day, whether, like I said, we're in person or virtual, is you're actually going to sit down with your academic advisor, your first year advisor, and schedule your whole first year of classes. So at the end of the day, you'll know your whole fall schedule, you're going to have your whole spring schedule, you're going to know your professors, what building you're in, what time your classes are, and that's the greatest benefit. Like I said, we offer that multi-term registration. So even before you've started at CSU, you're already using the multi-term registration, you're already scheduling your whole first year classes, which is probably the biggest benefit of our orientation program, is getting that whole first year set up right away. So at the end of the day, you know exactly what your schedule is, and you're able to hit the ground running once you do come back to CSU in the fall for your first day of classes. So once you've signed up for your orientation session, we're actually going to jump over to the step 6. So once you've signed up for your orientation session, before you actually attend, we'll be in contact with you about taking your math placement test. We ask all students to take the test, even based off your test scores or even AP classes that you've taken. We still encourage students to take the test no matter what. That way we can just put you in the correct college level math course. Like I said, we want you to be as successful as possible. We want to make sure that we're not putting you in a class that's too hard or too easy. So that's why we encourage all students to take the math placement test before they attend their orientation session. So when they do sit with their advisor, they are able to schedule the correct college level math course. It's an online test. It's timed. No students like to do it. I understand the reasons why, but like I said, it's just to make sure that you guys are in the correct college level math course. We want to make sure you are as successful as possible. So that's why we just encourage all students, regardless of your test scores or your AP scores, that you take the test before you attend your orientation session. So as we wrap up here, there's a few more things, a few more ways for you to engage with us at CSU during this time. So we have a few different virtual options available. So we have our CSU Virtual Welcome Center. as well as our virtual information sessions and campus tours. So if you're looking to join the virtual welcome center, you can actually visit engagecsu.com/visit. You'll be able to make a profile and then get signed up. The virtual welcome center is a really great profile. We have different communities of all the different colleges, groups, and organizations around campus. That way you're able to join the community, communicate with faculty, students, staff within that community, whether it's, the College of Nursing or the School of Nursing or our Urban Affairs College or our Engineering or Business College. You're able to communicate with these people early on and get to know, the different programs and what the admissions requirements and stuff like that. So I really encourage students with any interest in CSU to definitely go ahead and join that virtual welcome center. Like I said, all you have to do is visit engagecsu.com/visit. If you're looking to sign up for one of these virtual information sessions or campus tours, you can also visit that same link and do the same thing. We're offering those at 10 o'clock every single day. You'll actually be on camera with a current admissions counselor. So it wouldn't be me, but some days it is me. But like I said, we have our other admissions counselors and we kind of all take turns doing the information sessions. But it's a great way to learn a little bit more about CSU, talk one-on-one with an admissions counselor. But also after that, we actually have our current tour guides who are current students hop on the Zoom call and take you through a virtual tour that we have. So you can kind of get an overview of the campus, get a feel for it if you can't come visit in person. Like I said, it's with current students. It's a great way to kind of pick their brain and ask them any questions, being a current student at CSU at that time. We're also offering one-on-one virtual meetings with your admissions counselor. So like I said before, I'm the admissions counselor for all students in PA. So if you're looking to set up a one-on-one virtual meeting with me, you can go ahead and visit that same link. So engagecsu.com/visit. You'll be able to pull up my actual work calendar, find a time frame that works for you, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. You can set up a phone call or a Zoom meeting with me, discuss any questions you have about the application, the admissions process, visiting campus, anything like that. So if you're looking to have more of a one-on-one meeting, like I said, you can always email me or give me a phone call or just visit that link, find my name, pull up my calendar, and then book an appointment with me. And like I said, I'd be happy to talk with anyone one-on-one about CSU and answer any questions I can for you guys. Like I said, I know it's a crazy time and the college decision process is very overwhelming. So I want to be a resource as much as possible to help you guys out with that decision. So again, you can visit engagecsu.com/visit, set up a virtual one-on-one appointment with me, either through a phone call or through Zoom for 30 minutes or an hour. And then finally, we're actually offering in-person information sessions and campus tours now. So this is something we just started not too long ago, but what we are doing is hosting 3 in-person information sessions on campus Monday through Friday. So we have one at 10 o'clock, we have another at 12, and then 2. In order to make sure everyone is as safe as possible, we have a few different safety protocols for students and guests to follow. We're only actually allowing 4 students and 1 guest at each session. That way we're able to space everyone out, but also when you go on your campus tour with our tour guides who are current students, we're able to, have small groups. You're not, bunched up with a bunch of people. You're able to stay, spaced out, stay distant, and stay as safe as possible. But we're very excited to be able to offer these in-person information sessions and campus tours. In my opinion, the best thing to do is visit any school you can that you have interest in, especially now with everything, a lot of things being virtual. There's a lot of great virtual options, and it's a great way to understand the school and see a school. But the best way you can really, understand and see yourself going to school for 4 years is actually going there, walking on campus, seeing how the campus is, how the buildings are, how the student population is. So we're very excited that we're able to offer these now. And like I said, if you haven't come and visited campus before, or even Cleveland before, this is a great opportunity to kind of do both, with our campus being right in the heart of downtown Cleveland. It's a great way to see the campus, walk around, but then after the tour, you can head down the street and kind of take in the city and see all these different things that we talked about during the presentation that are available for our students while they do attend CSU. So like I've mentioned before, the link to follow to set up a visit, engagecsu.com/visit. From there, like I said, with the other links or with the other slides, you can set up a one-on-one meeting with me, virtual information session if you want to do that, an in-person information session if you'd like to go with that option, or you can join our virtual welcome center to, like I said, join the communities and connect with the different people around the campus just through your computer. Then we also have a webinar series we're actually hosting for this year. So these will be happening all throughout the fall, going into the spring as well. But we're going to be hosting a few different webinars that are going to be touching on topics such as the application process, financial aid. We're going to be doing some current and alumni student panels, so you can actually hear directly from our students, but also some of our alumni who have lived these engaged learning opportunities and what careers they've gone into, or how these engaged learning opportunities have kind of accelerated them into their career fields and jobs and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to be hosting those webinar series. If you are interested, you actually will be receiving an invite. We also have registration links on our website for students who will look to get registered for these upcoming webinars. So what I would do and what I would encourage you to do is go ahead and check out that engagecsu.com website. From there, you'll actually be able to give the option to apply, to visit, but also any events we have coming up with these webinars will actually be listed on there as well. So I would encourage you to go there, check it out. We're very excited about the webinars. Like I said, we're going to be touching on a lot of things during the college decision process that you're going to be going through, like I said, with the application, but financial aid is a huge one. So we're actually going to have financial aid reps available to talk with you, not just about financial aid at CSU, but just in general. So you're able to go through the financial aid process and make it as seamless as easy as it possibly can be. So if you are interested, check out that website so you can get registered so we can get you the link and get you on those webinar series. And so that just about wraps up all the information I have regarding CSU. I'm trying to see if we have any questions coming in right now. But like I said, I want to leave my contact information up there for you. Like I said, obviously my name is there, my title and everything, but I am the admission counselor for students in PA. So always feel free to send me an email, give me a call if you have any questions. And like I said before, it can be about the application process, admissions requirements, programs and majors at CSU, even just college in general. If you have any questions like that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to talk with students and help them out as much as possible. Like I said before, I know it's a very overwhelming process, and especially with everything else going on, it can be very, very daunting. So I want to be a resource for you as much as possible. We also have our contact information for our admissions office in there as well. So if you just want to reach out to our general admissions inbox, whether it's setting up a tour or anything like that, feel free to email them. We'll always get you connected with the admissions counselor if we need to, but you're always welcome to send any questions or give us a call at that email address or that number. And finally, like I mentioned before, the link that is the one we repeated several times throughout the presentation, engagecsu.com. Check it out. Like I said, from there, you'll be able to go through the options of checking out all the different majors we have at CSU programs with the minors. You'll also be able to sign up for in-person information sessions or virtual information sessions, campus tours, one-on-one meetings with admissions counselors, and even join that virtual welcome center. So a lot of things are happening at engagecsu.com. So if you have any other questions or anything like that, feel free to check it out. But yeah, with that being said, we're going to see we don't have any questions coming in. So appreciate everyone tuning in and checking it out. And I really hope we are able to see on-campus students. Hope you're all staying healthy and safe. And like I said, hope to see you at CSU here in the near future. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for any additional sessions at pacac.org. Also, in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as many other session recordings at pacac.org. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Thank you.